Hello family, my name is Wilma. Welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel I film content relating to faith, waiting, marriage, motherhood and lifestyle. So if any of these videos relate to you, hit the subscribe button, like this video and share. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you great lessons from another woman who had a banter with infertility, and her name is Rachel. I've titled this video, Give Me a Child or I Die. Yes, so let's just get right into the video. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing, as I mentioned earlier, lessons that as trying to conceive couples, we can pick and, adapt these lessons in our own expectation journey or waiting journey. So in Genesis chapter 29 and 30, there's a story about two women, who found themselves married to one man. So Jacob had obviously run away and had found himself in Laban, his uncle's house, and he wanted to marry Rachel. Unfortunately, there was a lot of deception. So he was giving Rachel to marry because in their culture, the eldest cannot be unmarried whilst the younger one marries. So he has to slave for 7 years for Leah and another 7 years for Lady Rachel. Now, the moment Jacob married Leah, I believe conception took place. And now after 7 years, when he eventually got Rachel, or when he got married to Rachel, I believe conception had started already for Leah. So now when he got married to Rachel, he's married. Rachel is married. Her sister has started giving birth already. Year 1, no show. Year 2, no show. Who knows how many years Rachel had to go. But then the point is that after some years, there was no issue, or there was no baby coming, and it was a source of worry for Rachel. Now you read the continuing verses, and then you realize that it was so bad that at some point it had become like a competition. So Rachel ended up giving her house help to Jacob. Leah ended up giving up her house help to Jacob. And if you read further, you realize that of all these four women, the tribes of Israel evolved because each of them had a number of children for the man Jacob. Now, the part where strikes me most is the part where Rachel is attacking Jacob to give her children, as though he is the giver of children, as though he has some hand or some role to play in her inability to conceive. And it drew my mind to so many lessons, and that's the first lesson I'm going to share with us. Sometimes in this waiting journey, definitely there are moments when we cannot but agree that we are jealous of our friends and sisters, colleagues who end up conceiving before us. It is a normal feeling. You are not a bad person. You are a human, and these are emotions that you go through. I did go through them myself, so I can fairly appreciate it. However, you must be careful what your jealousy leads you to do, or where your jealousy takes you, because for Rachel to tell Jacob that give me a child or I die, it means she was at the point of frustration, said that it wasn't really about physical death, it was about the death of her spirit, the death of her soul, because she knew that without children she didn't have any identity in the house of Jacob. So jealousy is an emotion that is permitted, but what you do with your jealousy in that moment is what would speak much about you eventually when your miracle happens, and how you handled it. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is that we also notice a very unhealthy competition between Rachel and Leah. Now the truth is that Leah was not loved by Jacob, right? Rachel was the one that Jacob loved, the one that stirred up Jacob's heart. So Rachel had favor before Jacob. Leah didn't have any such favor. So it had become a rule of manipulation, or it had become such that each woman had to use what she had to get what she wants. And Rachel had Jacob's favor, so anything she wanted, obviously, she could get from Jacob. Now, there was a time when Rachel needed, I think, food or something so badly, and Leah's son gave it to Rachel, And I think Leah was like, if you have gotten this, then this night I will sleep in Jacob's room or something like that. Okay. And you realize that if had there been no unhealthy competition, no one will be trying to outdo the other. Another instance is when what I mentioned earlier about the house help, because she realized that okay, she has given her house help, I can also give my house help. I mean, sometimes if you are not careful, the decisions, unhealthy competition will force you to do certain things that you otherwise would not have done. So please don't let unhealthy competition force you to do what you cannot, one, afford, to what you cannot live with its consequences. Okay, an example is going out of your way as a Christian to go seek for help at other places simply because you feel that hey, this person has gotten a child, you also need to do something to get yours. Don't place yourself. We are not in competition. Once you understand that we are all here for a purpose, God has assigned purposes to us even in our waiting journey, and you are walking in your purpose, you realize that you are not here to compete. And it's as simple as that. The final thing I'm going to share is that in your waiting season, decisions are everything. Bad decisions can cost you. Bad decisions is not just about trying to get the child, but bad decisions could be how you relate with your husband. For instance, I'm sure if it were today and Rachel was pestering the husband that give me a child lest I die, Jacob would have run out of the house because the house is not peaceful. There's contention, there's always nagging and things like that. So some of the actions that we undertake whilst we are waiting, it is so important. We cannot push our husbands out. So please, if you're waiting mother and you are watching me, don't go with the slogan or don't go with that agenda of give me a child lest I die. Your husband cannot do anything for you. Unless in a situation where it's a challenge to get him to seek medical help, fine, then that one we can always find a way or a better approach around it to get him to seek medical attention as well. But other than that, don't force your desperation to cause you to make bad decisions that will affect your marriage, affect relationship with others, affect your relationship with God, and even affect your relationship with yourself, your self-esteem. That's it. So I hope you've been blessed by this short video. So please, I don't want to hear any one of us saying give me a child lest I die, because God has so much in store for you. If you had an iota or an idea of what God intends to do with your story, eventually when your miracle happens, you will be patient, you will be at rest, and you just find peace in the midst of the storm. I hope you've been blessed. Do well to like this video, share this video to a waiting mother, a waiting father, and let them, stand strong in faith, because the journey is obviously not for the faint-hearted and it's not easy. I hope to come your way with another video. See you. Bye-bye.